I've said it before. The answer is not to defund our police departments. It's to fund our police and give them all the tools they need, training and foundation and partners and protectors that our communities need.
Well, maybe he has an eye now on the midterm elections. And yes, I'm counting 224 days from now. President Biden insisting he's all for funding the police as he unveiled a budget which calls for billions of dollars additionally for law enforcement. Most programs in the budget are not new, just repurposed with new names. And maybe they have to try to hire back all those people they defunded. Well, there are $250 million for a new community program effort. The DOJ also adding 131 attorneys, $34 million to keep prosecuting the January 6th riot, for example. Critics say the plan falls way short.
When you look at what is actually in this request, there's only $527 million going to the COPS grant. And that's what is actually hitting and affecting our local law enforcement in our communities. There's a whole lot of money to the tune of billions for ATF and for more gun control measures and gun buyback measures, which in the Biden administration's words are to curb gun violence. When in reality, all these things do is keep guns and weapons out of law-abiding citizens' hands and does nothing to curb the crime that they now say that they're concerned about. It's all smoke and mirrors, misdirection.
And all of this is happening as crime, of course, keeps surging in mostly Democrat-led large cities. Let's take, for example, New York City. The NYPD reports 25 shootings last week. That's up from the same time last year. Transit crimes are up nearly 21%. Robberies, 48%. Felony assaults, 22%. Car theft, a whopping 77%. Victims of violence in the city range from children aged 3 and 7 to a 73-year-old man mugged in broad daylight outside the New York Times building. A New York Post op-ed headline. Now's the moment Mayor Adams and Governor Hochul must seize to face down pro-criminal polls. Jason Rantz, Seattle radio talk show host. When you look at those numbers, Jason, they're not just chilling numbers, they represent human beings. And the personal crime of taking cars while people are still in them or trying to get in them or have their purchases in them are going up. Those are very dangerous edge crimes because they literally can leap into that next zone of that person getting hurt as a victim.
Absolutely. And they're a result of policies that have said to criminals over and over and over again, we're not really serious about punishing you, that we're not going to have cash bail when you're arrested, if you're arrested. And the big if is because we keep defunding police departments or running cops out of town. Then you get in front of a judge who buys into some of this woke garbage that has been responsible for a lot of the criminals being released. You have policies in place that basically are saying up front, if you do this, we will not charge you. What in the world do these politicians think is going to occur as a result of that? When you telegraph that you're not going to punish, guess what? Bad guys take advantage.
And I want people to know what they're watching. Let's not run it like wallpaper because that's a human being on the floor. And those people don't care that they're caught on camera. These are just random acts of violence. And it's heartbreaking and very dangerous. Like I said, you don't know how badly hurt those people are until police get there. Some of them have not survived. In the crime-ridden Chicago area, a new report sheds light on Mayor Lori Lightfoot's secret protection. She reportedly has a unit of 70 Chicago police officers protecting her, in addition to her 20-officer bodyguard detail. This comes as the Chicago PD has lost a large number of officers, 660 retired in 2021. Jason, the president wants to spend all this money to get people back, but you can't, in some cases, get back the experience that you let go when you were defunding.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we're losing veteran officers. These are officers who actually know what it's like to do community policing because at one point it was actually allowed. And so they created all of these relationships with the community. And now all of a sudden they're leaving because they feel like they've been betrayed by the politicians in charge. And frankly, some of the activists within the community, they have 100% been. And now we are less safe because of it. I hate to see cops leave departments, but I understand understand why they're choosing to do so. Some of them are completely leaving policing. Some of them are going into mid-size or smaller cities, and kudos to them, because now they're going to get to protect those communities. But unfortunately, we lose a lot of cops every single time we see garbage like this.
Florida's Republican Governor Ron DeSantis just signed the parental rights bill into law, and it bans classroom instruction in sexual orientation from children from kindergarten through 3rd grade. DeSantis says he's proud to stand up to Hollywood and other critics of the law. Let's watch.
Parents have a fundamental role in the education, health care, and well-being of their children. We will not move from that. I don't care what corporate media outlets say. I don't care what Hollywood says. If the people who held up degenerates like Harvey Weinstein up as exemplars and as heroes and as all that, if those are the types of people that are opposing us on parents' rights, I wear that like a badge of honor.
Well, apparently that badge of honor is pretty shiny, because all the way here in New York City, Mayor Eric Adams is talking about it. Here's what he said. The extremist culture war targeting our LGBTQ+ community is hateful and harmful. Florida's Don't Say Gay bill, those are his words, is the latest shameful measure. Jason.
Yeah, this is absolutely ridiculous. What we've seen over the course of the COVID lockdowns and remote learning is that parents got the wrong kind of woke for the liberals in charge, because now they figured out exactly what was happening in the classroom, and they're not going to stand for it. And what we're seeing now is the same thing that progressives tried to do with CRT. They first told us it's not being taught, and then they pretended that it's just actual history we're teaching. Of course, we know that that was a lie. And so we're seeing the exact same strategy, claiming that by pushing back against a non-controversial bill that simply says no teaching of gender identity and sexuality to kindergartners to 3rd graders. That's not controversial. That's normal. That is reasonable. We all should be getting behind it. So instead, they're just going to call everybody a bigot.
Yeah. Underestimate the parents and pay for it at the polls. We'll see what happens and cover it when it does.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to click to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page. This is the only way that I know for sure that you're not going to miss any great commentary, any great news bites, any great interviews coming your way on Fox. You can get it all here on YouTube. So subscribe right now.